This is a zoomed in chart for Bitcoin for sure, but it's also a weekly chart. And the context here revolves around the macro. This is a macro indicator kind of looking very nice. Those colors that you see on the screen looking very nice. That bright green is what we want to see. I'm going to break down what that macro indicator is in this video. So hit the subscribe and let's just jump into this. Before we even talk about that, I do want to just look at the move that's currently happening. Bitcoin right just below 29,700 on its way to 30,000. We talked about this in a video last night. Target to the upside out of this falling channel is around $30,600 or so. The reason why, and this could happen today, obviously, this is only a few $100s, not a few $100s, but it's less than $1,000 away for Bitcoin to hit this area. But the reason why this is such a big move on the short term, and it's kind of a special move on the short term, as we're about to look at a special move on the macro with this macro indicator, it's this chart that I'm very interested in right now because we have a larger pattern in play right now coming out of the bear market, and that is a rising wedge. The thing that strikes me about rising wedges, and I've said it before on this channel, oftentimes they're perceived as just, oh, that's looking bearish, right? Bitcoin just ready to fall. But oftentimes in bullish environments, they are the most bullish setups. And I'm not just talking about on long-term charts, but even in shorter-term moves in an uptrend in a bull market. The rising wedge for Bitcoin oftentimes can be a very powerful move or lead to a very powerful move. So I just want to point this out, target to the upside just around $40,000. Now, on the short-term journey to around the short-term target of 30,600, 30,700, I just want to be very mindful of what is in that general area. And that is the swing high that we had back here in April, mid-April, and Bitcoin saw resistance, right? And started tracking down in this falling channel. So this target, really confluent area of resistance, it will be very, very telling to see what Bitcoin does in that area. How much momentum is behind this current Bitcoin move, I think, will be defined and exemplified when Bitcoin gets to this area. I will be watching very closely when Bitcoin gets to that area on the chart. Now, we go to this other daily perspective. This is what it looks like, right? You can just see Bitcoin breaking through this upper trend line. This is a very big move happening on this daily chart, bigger than that shorter term move we just looked at. But if Bitcoin sees resistance here, are we going to start seeing consolidation into kind of this new setup of a potentially an ascending triangle for Bitcoin's next leg up? And that's something that I'm not going to cover right now, but it's something I could potentially just see us anticipating for a future video if we fall into that situation. But again, what happens in this area, this previous resistance area for Bitcoin as it tries to make its way to the target? And Bitcoin right now, even as I'm doing the video, just hitting $29,800. So we'll see if Bitcoin can make the move. I want to go over to the weekly chart. This is why I'm doing this video. And a special shout out to our sponsor of today's video, LuxAlgo, because we're using their indicator for this one piece of the chart. And remember, these indicators, everybody, they're not to be used as like this buy signal, but it's just another tool in the tool chest for us as we're kind of using all of these indicators together. When we start getting confluence with all of these indicators, it becomes a powerful thing. It becomes a powerful tool, a powerful visualization tool for us to mentally just be in a good area, mindset. And that's why I do this. This is just strictly how I see these charts. LuxAlgo providing a really, really good tool here. And there's a link in the description below if you want to sign up with them, 30% discount with my code. But let's talk about this very special indicator. All right, so what we're looking at here, there's multiple indicators going off here, but the one I want to focus on is what you see here in blue. And this is we're gonna bring into context prior to the last halving, something that happened back here. We're getting another shot at a very similar move right now prior to the next halving, and I'm very intrigued by it. Now, this blue move that you see here, or this blue channel that you see down here, kind of the inverse of this red channel that you see there, is called the smart trail. And it basically tracks downtrends and uptrends. And we have just a resistance area would be in red, and that's what we see in a bear market. And then we have a blue, which would be a support area. So what's triggering now, and we're going to kind of compare to the last cycle, what's triggering now is not the fact that we have the channel there, right? That's been there since around March. But what's happening is kind of this weekly macro confirmation of support. Because remember, it's not only just a picture of an uptrend that's happening in that blue channel. We want to use that blue channel as a support area, meaning if Bitcoin starts falling to that area, what happens? And we can just see within, and I kind of alluded to this in yesterday's video, we see this kind of fall below these really key moving averages. That red line is the 200 week. This green line is the 20 week. Bitcoin was falling below that. That was kind of concerning. Bitcoin bounced out of that and above those moving averages. And you can just see just above this area, this indicator that's offered by LuxAlgo, you can just see the smart trail support. And right now on the weekly chart, you can just see this green candle, a very powerful green candle. So that is what I'm watching. Now, when we compare it to the last cycle, this is where it becomes really fun for me to watch. Over the years, because it's been years now, I have always wondered, and I think a lot of you and a lot of the crypto space has always wondered, if COVID never happened back here, what was going to happen out of this move going into the Bitcoin halving? I always wonder that. And notice on this LuxAlgo chart, this indicator, do you see that blue channel being created prior to this Bitcoin halving? We're getting a similar move here. This shift on the chart, this smart trail being activated prior to the next halving. Mind you, hopefully we don't get some type of just COVID event that demolishes this move and kind of puts us in another downtrend to put in a higher low. But this is intriguing to me to track. And this is something I will be tracking because I think right now we're kind of getting another we're getting another shot at what was happening prior to the last halving. And now it's prior to this halving, just around 300 days or so before this next Bitcoin halving. And I'm very curious to see what happens with this smart trail and if Bitcoin can continue to maintain itself above the smart trail indicator. Something worth tracking if you're interested. Again, hit the link below and really just a special shout out to our sponsor of today's video, LuxAlgo. So that's what I'm watching on the weekly. Again, I'm excited to track this because I can't stop thinking, what would have happened last cycle? Everybody let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's see if Bitcoin can make the move above $30,000 today. Something else I'll be tracking on the shorter term. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I will see you in the next video. God bless.